Levi wants to know boxers or briefs.
Boxers or brief?
Yeah.
It depends what kind of a package you have.
Hey, Dad. Oh, I see you got my belated Father's Day gift. Do you
Yes,
like it?
I love it.
So I understand you have some jokes for us today. Can you explain where these jokes are coming from?
I will do that. Are we starting?
Yeah, we're starting.
Hello, Miranda. Okay, so jokes. First of all, I'd like to say that these are Jewish jokes. They're old men's jokes. What makes them Jewish jokes? Well, the Jews have their own sense of humor. Uh, in part, it's self-deprecating, and a lot of people that are minorities do self-deprecating things as a defensive posture against hatred and anti-Semitism. A lot of kvetching. Jews love to kvetch, complain about this and that. Uh, so we had a lot of Jewish jokes going way back to the Eastern Europe, the shtetls, the small communities of Jews. But I like to talk about what happened in the United States when the Jews migrated from Europe, East Europe, and came here, settling in the major cities, New York specifically. I think you have to remember that when the Jews came to New York City, they didn't have air conditioning and they didn't have much in the way of airplane flights. So
I still don't have air conditioning.
So what they did to get out of the heat of the summer, they would often go up to the Catskills, known also as the Borscht Belt. And there, a lot of Jews became very famous comedians. Give you a quick rundown on some of the famous names: Sid Caesar, Mel Brooks, Jerry Lewis, Jackie Mason, Buddy Hackett, Jerry Stiller, Rodney Dangerfield, Mort Sahl, Joey Bishop, Henny Youngman. How's that for comedians? They all got their start up there. And then with the advent of television, there was a whole new thing opened up, Alan King and so on and so forth. And television reached a point, no one thought this was going to be possible. They had a show called The Goldbergs, very Jewish family, and people were amazed that it caught on. It fired up the imagination because they were simply a loving family like any other family, and people were interested in it. It ran for a long, long time, and I think, as a matter of fact, it's been revived very recently. Then another one, of course, that caught on, Larry David. Who doesn't know Larry David? And his sort of Jewish perspective. Kvetching, self-deprecating, annoying, needling. And then, of course, there's Mrs. Maisel, who, in fact, goes up to the Catskills, the Borscht Belt, to perform as a comedian. So there you have it. The Jews have always been around with their humor and major contribution. I got this book actually from as a gift from my yoga teacher. I had, I don't know, kvetch, but I had a certain illness or something. And she was like, she would give me a drive back from the local place where we did a yoga because I stopped driving. And she sent it to me as a gift. She's not Jewish, by the way, but she thought I would enjoy it, and I fell in love with it. It's a wonderful book. The book has what I would call a lot of short jokes, what I would call zingers. Zingers are very short one-liners. I'll give you an example of a zinger. A little old lady in a nursing home goes up to the remaining man in the nursing home. She gets herself all dialed up and says, "How would you like some super sex?" He says, "I'll take the soup." Another quickie is zinger. A very small man walks into the psychiatrist's office. He says to the psychiatrist, "By any chance, do you treat dwarfs?" He says, "Yes, I do. You just have to be a little patient." A guy walks into a psychiatrist's office and says, "I need to see the psychiatrist immediately." The secretary says, "What seems to be the problem?" "Well, I think I'm invisible." The secretary knocks on the door of the psychiatrist's office and says, "Dr. Smith, there's a man in the waiting room who claims to be invisible." The doctor says, "Tell him I can't see him." Those are short zingers, not specifically Jewish oriented, but I like them. They're short and they are zingers. Now, would you like some?
Can you take off your mask? I'm worried it's going to choke you.
A lot of people say they have trouble wearing masks because they have difficulty breathing and talking. So I would tell them, get a nice paper mask, put it on, or even a cloth mask, and cut a nice hole for your nose and cut a hole for your mouth. And then you can sneeze what you want. You won't get your mask dirty. You can talk, you can spit. You won't get your mask dirty that way. It's just what you need. That's why you have to punch holes in it. I'm tired here. I need your mother, and she's not here. Here's one cute one. 3 guys are going to be executed: a Frenchman, an Italian, and a Jew. Many jokes do that. They take 3 people from different backgrounds. One is always a Jew. They ask the Italian, "What do you want before you die?" The Italian says, "Pasta primavera. I love pasta primavera." They bring him the pasta. They shoot him. They go to the Frenchman. "What would you like?" The Frenchman says, "Filet mignon." They bring him the huge filet mignon. He eats it. They shoot him. They say to the Jews, "What would you like?" The Jew says, "Strawberries." "Strawberries? We don't have strawberries. They're out of season." The Jew goes, "Okay, I'll wait." Sam Nendelbaum comes home from work, finds his wife scantily dressed in front of the mirror. When she sees him, she says, "Oh, Sammy, I had the most wonderful report from Dr. Goldstein. He said I have the body of a 35-year-old, the face of a 30-year-old, the hair of a 25-year-old. Sam says, "Yeah, what did he say about your big fat ass?" "Sam, we didn't talk about you, darling." A couple is in a supermarket. She has a problem, though. She steals. She's a kleptomaniac. She steals a can of fruit, is taken before the magistrate. The magistrate says, "Sarah, how can you do something like that? What did you take?" She said, "I just took 1 can of peaches." "Peaches? How many peaches?" "I think there were 6 peaches in the can." "You're going to go to jail for 6 nights. That's it, final." "Oh my God." Her husband stands up. "Your Honor, she also stole a can of peas."
Okay, that's a good one. That's funny.
Here's one. 2 ladies meet. One of them says to the other, "Hi, how are you doing? I haven't seen you for a while. How's your husband?" "Oh, my husband, he's such a wonderful man. He's such a doll. Every Shabbos, or Sabbath, he brings home a bouquet of flowers for me." She says, "Flowers? I hate flowers. Terrible. I can't stand flowers." "Why?" "Because you know what I have to do when he comes home with flowers? What? I have to lie down and spread my legs." "Oh my, don't you have a vase?" Your mother's laughing in the other room. The final joke that your mother highly recommends, it's called rugula. For those of you who don't know, rugula is a pastry, very delicious. You can get them in grocery stores and everything, but it was originally a Jewish piece of pastry. An old man is dying. He calls his son into the bedroom. "Sammy, I can smell all the way up here that your mother is downstairs in the kitchen baking rugula. You know that your mother's rugula is my favorite thing in the world. I'm sure this will be the last thing I'll ever eat. Would you please go downstairs and get me some?" Sammy leaves the room. 5 minutes go by, then 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, Sammy returns to his father's bedroom, empty-handed. "Sammy, where's the rugula?" "Pop," Sammy says, "Mom says they're for after the funeral." And those jokes are all from this wonderful book, Old Jews Telling Jokes.